Because Chicago has been so bad for so long, because Chicago has been so bad for so long, all of these other cities has been doing things and getting away with murder. All of these other cities have been taking advantage of the United States of the America's people, their taxpayers, the middle class, rich people, so on and so forth, right? And because Chicago refused to do the thing that's in the best interest of their citizens, places like Denver and Mike Johnston, with a T in his name, has largely been flying under the radar. But let me tell you something. It's cold in Denver.
One person is dead, another hurt after a group of migrants were attacked by a man wielding a knife. You see that pointy object right here in his hand. Now, we know that our crews were in the area and watched this whole violent encounter unfold. Our Vicente Arenas witnessed the chaos and has...
Hold on. Somebody find out who this is. Who is this young chocolate thing standing up there with her iPad with the brown on? She got a brown dress on. I didn't know if she was naked or if she was fully clothed out here in these streets. Who is this chocolate Thundercat that is standing on the front of my screen with all of that brown on? And I can't even tell whether or not she got clothes on or not. I didn't know if the stream was going to get shut down or if we was going to be reviewing a migrant crisis that's happening over there in Denver. I can't help myself. Listen. Women are beautiful. I asked Rita yesterday, I said, did we fund more women's businesses or did we fund more men's businesses? She said, I think we did more women. I said, I don't know. They say, Anton, I don't know if you hold women accountable because you don't like women. I said, I love my ladies. I fund their businesses, I employ them, and then I can absolutely appreciate when a Choco Taco is on front of my screen. Let's start that over one more time. We gonna get into the migrant crisis. I'm just trying to figure out who is this Choco Taco right here. You know what I'm saying? If anybody know her Instagram over in Denver, I'd love to be able to get her on the show in order to make sure that we have a conversation about what's happening over here with Denver and the migrant crisis. Look at her waist. Slim in the waist, pretty in the face. Good job. Good job. Okay, Choco Taco. That's my new name for her, Choco Taco.
Were attacked by a man wielding a knife. You see that pointy object right here in his hand. Now, we know that our crews were in the area and watched...
Get this woman off my screen, distracting me from doing God's work.
This whole violent encounter unfold. Our Vicente Arenas witnessed the chaos and has more tonight.
We were out here working on a...
There we go. Put the man up there that can't even talk with his eyes open because he got bifocals on and he got 60-60 vision. Hey, yeah, guys. This is the way to keep me engaged and focused on what's happening in these streets. Look at this man. He got his shirt on and his jacket, and it's part of the news, and it's his gear, and he got his cool glasses on. Okay, buddy, I can get with it now. Let me refocus.
Different story when we saw this fight breaking out. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse. At one point, I saw a group of people trying to fight off a man, a woman swinging a stick trying to fend him off. All this taking place outside the Denver Rescue Mission and the Samaritan House.
Cell phone video shows a scene unfolding that continued to grow more violent. The people shown here fighting off the man told me he had a knife in his hand and had been bothering them since Wednesday night. They say the man came.
Oh my God, we can't even take another police report. What is going on out here in these streets? We can't take another police report because we got to get a translator every single time we talk to somebody. Good God almighty. Now, I don't believe in crime and victim shaming, but if this man has been bothering them all night, maybe they couldn't get the police out there because they couldn't understand what the people were saying. Honestly, real talk. It's a language barrier, and I can't respond as fast because I don't know how to take the report.
Looking for problems. They're migrants from Venezuela, and the attacker was telling them they were not welcome here and for them to return to their country. They told us they believe the man is from Cuba and spoke both English and Spanish. The group told us they took out their own knives and garden tools and sticks to try and defend themselves.
Where do we live at? Honestly, I'm genuinely curious. Do we live in Cuba, Venezuela? Because all of them, they just bringing all of their problems over here as though we ain't got to deal with all of these little idiots running around doing stuff that they ain't supposed to do from these single mothers in the first place. Honestly, I'm going to read that super chat shortly, I promise you. But where do we live at? Where are we living at? Are we living in the United States of the Americas, or are we living somewhere else? When they said go back to your own country, I didn't know that they meant literally. I might just do it. Huh? Where was we brought over here from the ships from? Where was we at? Where's the... It got to be better over there than it is over here. They arguing. We don't know what they saying. They speaking in Cuba. Who speak Cuba Gooden Jr.? Yeah, Yakar, they got a knife fight out there fighting with sticks and knives. What is this? The Warriors movie? Who speak Cuba Gooden Jr.? If anybody speak Cuba Gooden Jr., somebody get them over here to translate so we can figure out what's happening on the streets of Denver. This is Denver. We just left Chicago, and it's the same thing over in Denver.
This woman says she unsuccessfully tried to calm the man down.
Le decía, take it easy. Let's go. Take it easy.
We saw CPR being performed on one man before he was put into an ambulance. David Garcia tried to help after the group of migrants tackled the alleged attacker.
Yeah, I actually took the knife out of his hand and disarmed him.
The unhoused migrants told us the
And it took a good old red-blooded American to disarm this man.
attacker today appeared to be under the influence of either drugs or alcohol.
Today's attack comes on the heels of what the migrants say was another last night where 4 men attacked their encampment. The migrants say they don't want any trouble. They're just here looking for work.
So while that was happening over there at the migrant camps, this happened within the last nothing but trouble. That ain't nothing but trouble. When you see a camp with all single men in there, that's why they over there welding knives. Listen. If you see a camp with nothing but single men over there, that's a red flag. It's going to be some unrest and some furniture moving up in that joint. Don't worry, Truth Seeker. We're going to bring Callie to the front of the congregation this week. If you see a camp and it ain't nothing but men in there that don't speak English, it's going to be a rough winter. It's going to be a cold winter. Ladies, listen. We know we hold y'all accountable because we just want y'all to do better. But let me help you to understand something. I don't never want to be hanging out in the cold with a bunch of men. Ain't nothing warm with men next to you. We are some cold-blooded creatures. The Lord put y'all on this earth because he said it wasn't good for man to be alone, but we just want y'all to be right. We want y'all. We just don't want y'all to, with that evil spirit up in y'all. That's a red flag when you see a bunch of men with Sergio Tacchini's and Stadium X shoes on, all in the cold in Denver. Okay. Watch what happens. Waiting to happen. So they let y'all come over here. They making money from having y'all over here. And now they going to leave you out in the cold and they going to starve you out until you go back into your country. So was that the strategy now that the people is turning against the fact that we don't want open borders? You didn't never want open borders in the first place. You just never wanted to admit.
Only the cold weather.
I don't know what these people saying. Los quemos sormento. What does that mean? Somebody that speaks Spanish or Cuba Gooden Jr., somebody tell me what Lázaro Sarmiento means. So now we got to learn Spanish and English in order to make sure that we get a job, in order to make sure that we can report the news effectively. Somebody in the chat tell me what Lázaro Sarmiento means. because I have no clue. I don't know what's being communicated right now. And then he gonna play it and then translate it like I knew what he was saying before they translated it. How am I supposed to know what that means? I do need a translator plug-in for my browser. Good God. But no, let's continue of what's happening over in our favorite blue city. Y'all gonna get tired of these blue cities. Y'all gonna get enough.
More than 2,000 migrants are in Denver shelters tonight, but their time is running out.
Some are now finding themselves on the streets in these freezing temperatures. Denver 7's Christian Lopez spoke with migrant families today asking for help.
I'm from Colombia and she's from Venezuela.
¿Cuánto tiempo tienen en Denver?
We've been in Denver approximately a month.
I spoke to Freyman Escorcia and his wife Nadelis, who say their time at this Denver shelter is running out.
Look at the...
When your time is up, they kick you out.
That's Denver, y'all. Welcome to the good old US of A. This is Denver. See that good view of the city? I'm sure it's some good tax-paying citizens that's paying their rent on time, that's living right there above with that great view, looking down on all of the migrants. Welcome to the good old US of A. Can you imagine if you were one of the people that lived in the newer building that was sitting there and you paying top level rent? Let's say you paying $3,500, $3,700 a month. And then you look down and you see all of these tents from people in your city when you thought that you was going to have a better view. This is Denver. Colorado. Didn't Deion Sanders move over there? Denver. Mayors, nowhere to be found. Illegal propane tanks. People finding girlfriends and they both speak the same language, but they from different countries and stuff like that. This is crazy. To think that in 2023, when I was growing up, and I remember when I was a young dude, they said that we was going to have flying cars by the time that I graduated from high school in 2000. They didn't tell me that in 2023, 23 years after I graduated in high school, that we would have base camps, that it would be looking like Escape from LA with Snake Plissken. They didn't tell me that. They told me that we was going to have flying cars. They did not tell me that we was going to have base camps. Can you imagine? Like back when you was coming up in the 90s, some of y'all a little bit younger, I'm 41 years old. When you was coming up in the 90s and the 80s and the 90s and the level of technology, and we was listening to tapes and CD players, and we was going to get that new Wu-Tang Forever, Wu-Tang Forever. And DMX was out and Jay-Z was saying, and Biggie was singing in Your Girl and saying, baby, baby, give me one more chance. Did you think for at any point in 2023, when you was 40, 41 years old, that we would be looking at base camps, that we would have Biden, the very same person that was the toughest on black people when it came to the crime bill, elected as the president of the United States on the back of the first black president whose main legislative victory came from giving you phones, the Obama phone, and alphabet community victories. And that we would need Trump, who back then was both an entertainer and a businessman, to come and try to save us from the people that were raised as community leaders and was legislating since the early 90s and the 80s. Think about this for a second, y'all. Let's really just frame this for a moment. You coming up. Your grandmother think that she never gonna see a black president before her time is up. She get one. The president is a chain smoker who then comes in and then bring forth and advocates for Hillary Clinton, who has no credentials other than the fact that she stuck by Bill Clinton when he was getting his stuff sucked inside of the president. And Barack Obama, who a lot of people didn't even think would make it because of his name. And then he would come in and issue in a new era where Biden would then can't even walk up the steps and don't even know where he at half the time, is going to be the president of the United States that then tell you after he helped sponsor the crime bill that you're not black if you don't vote for him. And then they have a party where men dress as women and then they are naked on the president's lawn, that they would find drugs and cocaine inside of the White House. And then you would be looking at base camps in Denver for them opening up our borders and not even protecting the citizens of the United States of America. Is this not the America that you dreamed of, that Malcolm X and Martin Luther King was advocating for black people to be able to thrive in, for white people to come together, for you to evaluate people based off of the content of their character? But now we still living in Rome where mob rules? This is crazy. This is absolutely insane.
There's no help when you get out.
All while also counting down
She's 7 months pregnant.
to the birth of their child. They're worried about ending up on the streets.
Throw the whole goddamn country away. For real, man. Listen, I didn't throw y'all was going to throw me a haymaker like that one. So y'all didn't even know each other before y'all came here, but she pregnant and about to have a child in the United States of America that's going to be a natural U.S. citizen. What is happening in this country? Oh my God, this is so bad. Oh my gosh. Jesus Christ. Oh man, I did not see that haymaker coming. What in God's name are we doing on this earth? What happened? What happened? Y'all gonna be taking care of their kids. Y'all gonna have to make sure that they get all of the EBT cards and free education and health care coverage, and you gonna do it. You're gonna take care of them. You're gonna take care of their kids. I am absolutely amazed. Honestly, you just cannot make this up. You can't make it up.
Like dozens of other migrant families now living in this large encampment at Spear and Zunai.
A lot of people outside who have been kicked out, they have nowhere to go, so they're out here with these temperatures. It's concerning because there's kids and pregnant women like her.
Many families who are staying in these tents tell us that they were previously living in this hotel, but they were kicked out because their time ran out. They tell us the only reason they're getting by is because of generous community members like these who are constantly stopping by and delivering food and other donations. They're urging the city of Denver to do more to help. They tell us work permits.
I bet you if they help all these people get work permits, you wouldn't see all of this out here.
Are a major obstacle.
We're simply asking for help. We know how to work. A lot of people outside with this cold is a cruel thing.
As it stands now, families have 37 days before they're forced out. Individuals only have 15.
This honestly looks like the Carter. This looks like the Carter, y'all. This don't look wild to y'all? This ain't the projects of 2023? How many of y'all was familiar that this was even happening in the first place? When you go to sleep at night or you go home or you have conversations, or when you was watching a football game yesterday, did y'all know that this was happening over in Denver? Or does it take me to bring this to the front of the congregation for y'all to realize that this is real? This is the Carter.
While the city of Denver says it hasn't forced anyone out in the last week, clearly many are still left out in the cold. Reporting in Denver, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
It is so hard.
Where my Choco Taco?
Out there like that, and
let me go back to my Choco Taco real quick. Get my Choco Taco on the screen. Where's she at?
New at 7, the number of
That ain't her. Where Choco Taco at?
One person is dead, another hurt after a group of migrants.
Ah, there she is. Hey, Choco. Choco Taco. Ain't nothing like a nice, slim in the waist, pretty in the face woman to bring back your frustration. And every time that you get a little bit more frustrated, just come on back to your Choco Taco. All right. I just sent you a DM. Let's see if we can get her on the live stream. I want to interview her in person. Get on off my screen, devil. I don't want you getting me in no trouble. Let me make sure that we make her sign an NDA and a consent agreement before we end up like Diddy. You know what I'm saying?